Welcome everybody to the DC New 52 review. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode. I am your host, Pauly DC, and let's get into another one of these things. Today, I will discuss Suicide Squad Volume 1. It was titled Kicked in the Teeth, and it was written by Adam Glass with art by Federico, Dallocchio, and Clayton Henry, with issues 1 to 7 being released between November 2011 to May of 2012. The very first time DC comic book readers saw a Suicide Squad, it was in the Brave and the Bold number 25, September 1959. However, the team became much bigger and what some call modern in Legends number 3, January 1987 by John Ostrander, going on to get their own standalone title 4 months later in May of that same year. Also known as Task Force X, the team is a shady government project overseen by Amanda Waller, a manipulative US agent type, and she employs incarcerated villains from across the DC universe to do, well, suicide missions in exchange for reduced sentences, and they are all kept in line with lethal neck bomb implants. Members have included dozens of characters over the decades, and for the New 52, it consisted of longtime member, the highly deadly assassin sharpshooter Deadshot Floyd Lawton, fire conjuring Chato Santana or El Diablo, the beastly man-eating King Shark, an urban ninja aka Eric Needham's version of Black Spider, a different-looking savant, Brian Derlin, original creation who's just known as Voltaic. His powers are pretty simple to deduce. And finally, Harleen Quinzel, better known as Harley Quinn, the lover to the Joker, with this being her Suicide Squad debut. Issue number 1 constructs a great opening in terms of what the material is covering, as we see the main players being collectively tortured for info on who employs them by a bunch of guys in bag masks that I think would upset Jonathan Crane. Each member's torture is then shown next. You can just look without me having to give descriptions. And also it's shown how they all ended up in Belle Reve Prison, Louisiana, aka Suicide Squad headquarters. Deadshot was caught by Batman. El Diablo turned himself in after going on a fiery rampage that wound up killing innocents, and Harley was apprehended by Birds of Prey member Black Canary. As for Voltaic, King Shark, and Black Spider, their pain just continues until Sharky plays dead, baiting one of his captors into getting a little too close so he can then bite off an arm, laughing along the way. But Savant, on the other hand, does succumb to the torment, going on to divulge intel, only it doesn't get him anything due to being taken away screaming. After this, though, the rest of the guys wrap things up while making a not-so-subtle Jaws reference and knock everyone out. Now, how did the team end up like this? Well, days earlier, their prison cells were raided due to them being Suicide Squad recruits, and they were sent into the snowy hills on an assassination task. However, when engaging their target, things look to be a setup as they find a not the fun type of doll, stated by Harley, that blows up, resulting in their capture. It's then revealed that everything from the torture to the fake mission was orchestrated by director Amanda Waller to weed out weak recruits, and since these 6 passed, they are now full-fledged Suicide Squad members being immediately thrown, or rather dropped from a plane, into a real mission in Mississippi to eliminate a stadium full of 60,000 people while still being gruesomely wounded. Issue number 2 is like an episode of The Twilight Zone mixed with a George A. Romero zombie flick, and it all starts on the team being quarantined in a stadium with less than 6 hours to find a lady named Kaylee Burns. Some person then runs over exclaiming that things went to shit when everyone started killing and eating each other for some reason. So Deadshot whacks the guy due to seeing he's also infected with whatever spreading, stated here to be an unknown techno-organic virus. Voltaic then shows his electric powers are needed to put down the techno-zombies for good, also making it known that he's got a beef with Black Spider because apparently they met before, letting us know that Spider kills criminals like a vigilante. The team goes on to use their mixed talents to eliminate the rest of the enemies now approaching in typical zombie carnage. Voltaic even saves Deadshot at one point, which is unfortunate for him, while Harley hammers some heads clean off before having a pretty weird chat with El Diablo, who seems apprehensive to use his powers at first, but getting devoured ain't it, so he roasts a bunch of the techno zombies, and King Shark is highly questionably eating them. Big missed opportunity to have him turn into a zombie creature briefly. But anyway, Black Spider has been caught by a pregnant-looking Kaylee, breaking his arm and then turning into a freaky tentacled blob monster that takes down the Suicide Squad because of El Diablo not allowing Deadshot to kill it, since he's not exactly a dastardly villain. Harley is next targeted, and before things get rough for her, King Shark comes out of nowhere and bites Miss Burns' head off. Yikes. This also allows Deadshot a chance to extract her baby, and not how a doctor would. Again, yikes. El Diablo is then shown that the infant is the package they came for, thanks to being immune to the present virus, therefore a possible cure. Yes, Floyd is aware of more things due to being team leader. He then leads Voltaic away so he can electrify all of the zombies completely dead for good, meaning it is time for Deadshot to shoot him in the face in a ploy to set him up as the one responsible for the massacre. Okay. Waller then radios in saying checkmate agents are approaching, so the team has 3 hours to find a new extraction zone. Issue number 3 keeps the excitement and tension going, all taking place in the 2-hour time frame left before the team's neck bombs pop, and they're currently avoiding a bullet barrage at the hands of bounty hunter Mad Dog, which is a name that's been used before, but this version that kinda looks like Sportsmaster is original, and his squad wants the baby that the Suicide Squad has. Black Spider tries to use a ninja trick to escape, but Mad Dog is better than that, going on to shoot him for his trouble, so Harley makes the next move of turning on all the gas inside the diner that the fight is happening in, rendering any more gunfire as a very poor idea. Jumping back an hour, the team is now in Louisiana getting civilian clothes, locating food for the baby, while Diablo and Black Spider uncomfortably hit the town for medical supplies while sticking out like a plumber's ass crack, even though they gotta lay low. Also, how the hell did King Shark leave the stadium in Mississippi, travel across state lines, and go on to help himself to some farm fresh chicken without being noticed? I don't know, and I don't care. Lawton is next snuck up on by Harley, who seemed attracted to him last issue, meaning even if he's not down for clown girls, she's ready to change that as they begin a little something that also made it into the Batman Assault on Arkham movie. Only bad thing here is DEADSHOT saying he may have been infected at the stadium, yet he was willing to swap bodily fluids with HARLEY still. Oh boy. Guess she's lucky that Waller called in during it. Things then show El Diablo discovering that DEADSHOT most likely killed Voltaic over the news before it is seen how the team ended up cornered by Mad Dog, and HARLEY finding out her new crush doesn't have the most expected first name. It was more popular in the 1950s when he debuted. Back to present time though, Mad Dog simply decides to eliminate instead of recover the baby now, leaving the gas-filled place and shooting it inside, causing an explosion that only kills his crew, and even worse, when he runs away, King Shark arrives to greet him. Bye bye. El Diablo, meanwhile, was able to quell the fire blast with his powers because he wouldn't leave Black Spider behind, and this has HARLEY feeling helpful too, as she assists both men even against DEADSHOT's orders. Gotta like her comment here as well. Finally, the team makes it to the evacuation point to drop off the baby, also where Lawton sees King Shark is sporting Mad Dog's crosshair pendant necklace as a trophy, implying he's now a dead dog, and the Suicide Squad also gets two newcomers here in the Flash Rogue George Harkness, or Captain Boomerang, an inventor and expert fighter, plus body morphine Yo-Yo. Not just that, but Waller adds more time to the team's neck bombs, meaning she could have any time, indicating the time crunch was moot here. Rough news for everyone surely, and it gets worse because Boomerang says he's now got the neck bomb switch from Amanda. Issue number 4 brings in the Basilisk group, which would be seen around the New 52, but here, as the Suicide Squad kills their way into one of the group's compounds, they are called Coil. And I know what you're thinking, this group kinda sounds just like the Cobra faction. You're not wrong. Also, while Yo-Yo creeps on HARLEY, Georgie misses his opportunity to say he's the captain of Task Force X now. Moving on, the team is where they are now to extract a Dr. Eliza Viziak, who quickly tries to off herself with a cyanide capsule, but El Diablo again shows his usefulness by burning the toxins from her blood in risky manner. Some Basilisk goon then walks in on everyone and is successful in a suicide attempt, blowing himself up, requiring Yo-Yo to show his powers, thus saving his teammates. They all go on to meet up with King Shark, but more importantly, Captain Boomerang tells HARLEY about Joker's face-skinning episode in Detective Comics Vol.1, which obviously and promptly messes her up big time. However, he wasn't confirmed dead, so that is inaccurate. The following scene then introduces us to Freaky Basilisk agent Grey Laura, which is a type of parrot snake, and she goes on to attack DEADSHOT immediately after he says the name Wong Fon Ye. Why exactly? Well, Lawton goes on to show that the woman of this name, who was Grey-L's sister, got killed in a hit done by Boomerang because she was a rival called Asp, leading into this encounter being a planned setup as Grey Laura is presented a deal. She can take Harkness if the Suicide Squad can have Dr. Viziak. Of course, he then tries to use the neck bomb switch, which of course doesn't work, and causes him to take a bullet in the hand. How did you think Waller would actually give you that button? Idiot. After the deal gets accepted though, the team returns to Belle Rev, wherein a dumb guard shuts off HARLEY's neck bomb prematurely while Amanda chastises DEADSHOT, so the rest of the team is put into lockdown, but it's too late because Miss Quinn somehow was able to set up a massive prison riot and breakout, causing the team to be told they must handle that new insanely big task and put it to bed in less than 20 minutes or it's no more heads. Issue number 5 continues right from the previous one as DEADSHOT uses all of his available bullets to eliminate a colorful cast of prisoners, along with getting help from Yo-Yo and El Diablo. Waller is seen slinging orders while Black Spider takes the opportunity to kill whoever he can in the infirmary, saying he's a criminal-killing vigilante. However, after a good fight, he passes out. Chateau and Lawton are next seen attempting to get into a guard tower for better position, but ED is knocked out, leaving DEADSHOT alone, and he's able to get up inside, except cannot finish his plan before being tossed off the friggin' tower, which I have no idea how he survives. That just leaves King Shark and Yo-Yo, who goes on to release his Finn teammate until Sharky decides to eat him. What in the hell? Amanda also saw this just as the Bell Rev inmates are breaking into her office, allowing her the chance to cap off her first kill of this series. With the whole Suicide Squad basically down though, she gets a goodbye message to her family because a deadly nerve gas contingency is about to be executed, but El Diablo says hold up on that and goes full out Hellfire Demon mode, roasting everyone in sight, thus stopping the chaos. Wally is rather enthralled with this, seen by her next comment. Then, days later, we see Floyd getting medical attention before getting a brief bit of time with his daughter Suchin in, but it's cut short because Waller has a lead on where Harley's going due to her escaping. Issue number 6 opens a two-part story taking the TFX to Gotham City to track down Harley, and some new members are here now. There's the energy blasting and flight enabled twins, Lime and Light, who were originally from Green Arrow Vol.1. Then Savant is back, you know, the guy who caved during the torture in issue number 1. Why is he back now? I got no clue. But obviously, being a sharpshooting hitman too, there are problems with him and DEADSHOT. Anyhow, you gotta admire the creativity next, as the team has actually been recently chasing a Harley decoy, who is the first of an entire freak show circus brigade of Harley Quinn cult fanatics, which slows down the squad for a bit. But when things are done, Savant can't help himself in antagonizing DEADSHOT, while King Shark and the twins get looking for a surviving Harley goon to question, resulting in a conjoined twin giving the intel, and I may be going to hell for grinning at this scene a little too hard. The info is Harley's got plans involving Joker, with Waller saying he's dead. Again, not true. However, Miss Quinn is seen at some creepy funhouse hideout, then the team eventually catches up with her being intentionally arrested at a police station. The second half of this edition regards Harleen Quinzel's New 52 background, as she is seen wheeling someone strapped to a gurney before we see her in normal blonde psychiatrist form being eager to meet the Joker and to try to psychoanalyze him in Arkham Asylum under the watch of a Dr. Serrano. Harleen immediately gains a fraction of Mr. J's attention after spotting him brandishing a straight razor that he decides to not stick her with. However, she used it in a full circle moment to slit Dr. Serrano's throat, as the poor lady is shown to be the person on the gurney. More on that in a moment, because the last flashback we see is Joker telling Harleen jokes, and then revealing to her that he knows that Daddy Quinzel was hit and run by some mobster, Harley got like 3 origin tales in this event, just throwing that out there. But Joker plays on this one by having set up a hit on that said mob guy and produces his chopped off finger to Harleen as a token of his affection. Wowza. Issue number 7 concludes this book, beginning with Lime and Light using their energy powers to beam King Shark into a Clayface disguise, while Deadshot and Savant raid a police station that Harley is already in, having found Joker's face skin, which surely should have warranted some type of Bat family attention, but it does set up another throwback to Harleen's breaking point when admitting to her boss, Dr. Serrano, that she's attracted to the Clown Prince of Crime, warranting a major professional spaz out by Serrano saying, "What the F are you thinking?" which causes Miss Quinzel to cut and assault her before going on to release Joker. Back to real time, Savant locates Harley first, but after only getting a couple hits in on her, she outsmarts him pretty quick, leaving him inside of a locked jail cell on top of a pressure mine. Yeesh. Also, Waller finally gets to blow someone's head off here as Lime gets nicked by a cop's bullet, so she tells Light to run. And as she goes on to snitch on the Task Force X, Lime's neck bomb goes boom. Another flashback comes next with Joker bringing Harleen to the Ace Chemicals plant, the fateful place where he was quote-unquote created, and it's clear what's coming now as he repays the favor to her for letting him loose by throwing her into the same toxic stew that he once fell into, and when drained, Harley Quinn emerges having survived. How did her hair change color to perfectly parted red and blue though, you ask? I haven't got the faintest clue. Things then wrap up on Deadshot being the last to look for Harley, but she's gone total Metal Gear Solid, silently sneaking up on Lawton in the dark and knocking him out, so he can awaken tied to a chair wherein the highly disturbed looking lady he once planned on sleeping with gives him a nasty lip cut, and since Joker's face is present, Floyd knows what's going down next as the situation becomes beyond gross, wildly creepo, uncomfortable, and multiple other adjectives due to the skin being put over his. Blah. Harley then does a little make-believe, and the more I read this scene, the more it gets a yikes from me. Kudos to the writers because my oh my. Anywho, Deadshot plays along in this as if he were the real thing, all in order to draw Harley in close so he can pull a hidden gun and fatally shoot her in the gut. Alright. The plot for this one started great and never looked back. From the first to the last page, it was non-stop lurid violence, stellar action, a cast that keeps you intrigued. Seriously, every thread from the crazy opening torture to the enemies taken on to the Gotham plight, it all wove together a top Volume 1 edition. Moving over into dialogue, it was thoroughly engaging and entertaining, full of dark comedy while balancing some serious stuff, and also kept a layer of spy thriller to it. One of those books you could get through effortlessly. Rounding out with the art, and there was a lot of good to take away from here. Imposing, jaded, and eclectic character designs, both pro and antagonistic. Tons of memorable moments like Harley and Deadshot hooking up, which would set up later stories. Chato showing how intense his powers are. The collection of fight scenes were awesome. Definitely a worth entry into the Suicide Squad's history early on. That's gonna do it for today's review, and if you've watched until the end here, I want to personally thank you for that, and to please like, share, and subscribe. Please follow me on all my social media platforms, and to please join me next time for more DC New 52 content.